My name's William Truax. Everybody calls me Billy. I started in the carnival business in 1965. Joined up with Gooding Amusement Company in Columbus, Ohio, and
How old were you?
I was 16 years old. And I spent I stayed there till 1978 and left there and went out with Murphy Brothers, with Jerry Murphy. And I traveled on his route until 1985. When I left there, I went with James E. Straits for 2 years. I moved his giant wheel for him. I owned my own equipment, and I moved the wheel. And we uh, we were there for 80, 86 and 87. And then I booked an independent route and just hopscotched all over the United States with my equipment. And then I was approached by Frank Conklin. He wanted me to come on his route. So I took my equipment over there with Frank Conklin, and we stayed there till 95. In 95, they went over to Faro Amusements. And I stayed with Faro till 2003. I moved his log flume ride for him. And then when I left there, I went with Butler. And I've been out there with Butler. I was out with Butler until 2016. I was there for 13 years with them. And then I left there and I went to Ocean City, Maryland, where I'm at right now. I've been there for 3 years. So it's been 53 years.
50 plus years.
Yeah.
When's the first time that you went to a national convention like Las Vegas or Chicago?
Uh-huh.
Where did you go first to a national convention?
Probably the first national one would have been in Las Vegas. Me and my wife were married in Las Vegas in '85 during the convention. Yeah. In Jerry Murphy's suite on the 28th floor of the MGM Grand.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, we're filming. Yeah, we're filming. We can edit though.
Yeah.
That's my wife. So.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to do what you got to do, right? Yeah. So I go to the IAPA every year, and I go to Gibtown every year, and I've been going to Las Vegas every year. Now it's moved to here. So.
What are your impressions of San Antonio?
Well, I always liked San Antonio. I played it years ago, like in the '70s. I played it. I had a Himalaya, and I booked in there with the stock show, and I played that there, and I came back, going back and forth east to west, going to Butler. We would drive, and we on the way home at the end of the year when the season's over, we'd stop in San Antonio on the way home. So,
Because you liked it.
oh yeah, it's a nice city. I like it.
And the crane tipped over, and what looked to be a whole lot of damage.
So,
He was
what
freaking out, because it was his first year doing it.
what did your family do?
And he
You know,
called
what did your father do?
and he says,
My father was worked in a steel mill in Weirton, West Virginia. That's where I grew up in Weirton, West Virginia, until I was 16. And one day they asked me to go down there and meet my dad and take him his lunch in the mill. And the mill police met me at the gate, and they took me back there to where he worked, and it was so dark and dingy and dreary. And they wanted me, when I graduated from high school, they wanted me to go work in the mill. And all my uncles all worked in there and everything, and I didn't want to work in a dreary place like that. So when the carnival came to town, I hooked up with them, and I never went back.
And it's pretty exciting and pretty bright and pretty flashy.
Oh, yeah.
What did your folks think then? Did they like that? Or?
They didn't think I would stay. They thought they thought I'd get homesick in a couple weeks and come home. But I met up with a real nice family. They took me in, and I just worked with them all summer long, and they liked the way I worked. And at the end of the season, they asked me if I wanted to move to Florida with them and stay there in the wintertime, and I went, and I didn't go home for 4 years. So.
By then you were in.
I was in. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a great story. And so now your home is in.
Lakeland, Florida.
How old are you? I'm 67.
I'm 69.
uh,
Looks better than me, doesn't it? He's worked hard all his life, and I look worse.
So
That's great.
they had taken the.
That's real good history. So the most number of rides, I guess you had on the road at any one time, or that you were responsible for?
Oh,
My husband was up.
I was with Butler shows, and we carried like 35 to 40 rides with us, and I was in charge of all them logistics, getting the trucks in on teardown, getting them out, set up, taking care of all the setup and all the teardown, all the maintenance, and they would shift rides over from the other units. They'd bring them into us for a couple weeks, and we'd fix them up and send them back out. We had a real good shop, good electricians. There was like a 8-man crew in the maintenance department.
On the road, though.
On the road crew, yeah. In their winter quarters, they had like a 15-man crew. That's all they did was paint. They had paint rooms, and they just did a fantastic job painting the rides. So we just took care of our stuff on site. Everything, whatever came up, we just took care of it.
How many rides do you take care of now?
I'm in Ocean City, Maryland. I'm at the Jolly Roger Amusement Park on the pier, and we have 14 rides. So that's where I'm at right now. That's what I'm doing now.
And is that the first time you've been stationary?
Yeah.
Non-moving, right?
Right.
First time you've been non-moving. So
Right.
Your
Nothing, how are you doing?
opinion of that, your reaction to being stationary now?
Well,
You're at the airport.
when you're on a carnival, it's your life. It's not just your job. And so you get up in the morning, and it's all consuming. If something goes wrong, you got to be out there till like the show closes at midnight. So it's all day, every day. In the park, my deal with them is I go to work in the morning at 8 o'clock, and at 5 o'clock, I go home every day. I like that. I like going home. And then I only work 6 days a week, where when you're in the carnival, it's 7 days a week. If you get a day off, it's because you work, and get everything done. Then you know. Then only you know when you can take a day off. So I like that part.
Do you have children?
I have 3. I have a son that's 44. He's a truck driver. He was in the carnival business for about 10 years. He had rides booked over with the Conklin shows, and now he's a truck driver and in Florida. And my oldest daughter is 39, and she owns her own business called the Southern Girls Cleaning Service in Ruskin, Florida, and she's got a lot of clients, and she's busy all the time with her business. And then my youngest daughter is 24, and she's an airline pilot. She flies for Southwest, or SkyWest. Yeah.
It is.